Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all the core gamers out there. CAJman777 here, welcoming you to episode 42 of Monster Hunter Double Cross today. In the last episode, we made our way to the Soratorium, where we fought our first high-rank monster of the single player, the Congalala. And after the Congalala's defeat, we gained access to most of the Soratorium's features. But now, there are more monsters that you guys have not seen yet that we will be hunting. Before we get into that, though, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our donators over there on Patreon. Valentine Blaze, MickeyPhorGens, MaddiLeigh, Thomas, Liotos, The Lotus, and Color Craze for their continued support to the channel. So, I know I said I'm probably only going to do one monster per episode from now on, but we're going to see if we can actually squeeze in 3 in this episode, because these 3 monsters, even in their high-rank forms, are super weak. What are those monsters, you may be asking? Well, they are going to be the Celtis, the Quechahuacha, and the Gaiadrome. 3 monsters that you have not seen yet that we are going to get to be fighting right away. So, without further ado, we are going to run into Bug Appetit Encore, the Celtis hunt that we need to do, and because of this, we're actually going to a new location known as the Ancestral Steppe, which is an area from the very beginning of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, where you fought Celtis, Quechahuacha, Congalala, and Gore Magala as a few monster examples. Now, for these 3 hunts, I will be using Adept-style dual blades with the new hunter art we unlocked, Spiral Slice. But, here we are, in the Ancestral Steppe. The base camp, more specifically. As you can see in all of its glory, it is very beautiful. This area is probably still one of my favorites of all Monster Hunter games. And you'll see why as we get walking to where we need to go to run into the Celtis. As you can see, it's lush, golden fields with ruins, essentially all over the place, which is really cool. It's a really nice aesthetic. So, without further ado, let's go find ourselves a Celtis. Now, the Celtis, I will let you know, he is weak to fire. Quechahuacha, I also believe, is weak to fire as a secondary weakness, but I believe it's thunder primary. And the Gaiadrome is also weak to fire. So, for this episode, I'm using event quest weapons that are inherited from Fairy Tail, the anime Fairy Tail, yes. They are called the Exploding Blades, and not only do they do fire damage, but they also do blast damage, or slime damage. Depending on what generation of Monster Hunter you came from, you still call it slime. I still call it slime. So the Celtis is not actually where I thought he was going to be. Which is fine, I guess. All we need to do is run down the cliff from Area 7 here, and we should be able to see the tiny little bug. Yep, there he is right there. Now, we don't get a cutscene for any of the high-rank monsters, because they've already expected you to fight these monsters in low rank, but because we transferred data in, we don't necessarily get that bonus. So, if he stops flying away from me, we can actually get this fight underway here. And start with our little fight against Celtis. As you can see, I already got 1 Blast Blade Explosion off. He is extremely, extremely weak to fire damage. A lot of his attacks involve charging or swiping with his pincers. Now, he can indeed swipe twice, but he always kind of comes lower to the ground, allowing for some pretty easy hits and a lot of damage very, very fast. He is also one of the easiest monsters to topple over, and his only breakable point is going to be his horn. On the front side, as my cat's going to pull out a massive bomb, and we're going to clear the subquest, and all my cat needs to do is walk into it. And Celtis should hopefully go down here honestly, within like a minute or 2, because honestly, high-rank Celtis isn't too big of an issue to me, just because he is pretty weak, and we are not going to get the mount there. I thought we had it for a second. That's okay. As he's going to keep knocking me away. But he's already limping, as you can see. Now I'm going to try not to let him fly away here. That would be my goal. Because my cat's going to bomb him. And I think that will actually allow the Celtis to escape. No, it won't. So what we're going to do, we're going to go for Spiral Slice! Oh, I missed it. Alright, well, he's going to fly away. But you can see he's already limping, so that's already one monster down in the hunt. Luckily, he only goes to area 7. And like I said, he's probably the easiest monster. You don't really need to worry about him even doing too much damage to you. While I am in G rank armor and I've taken, you know, a few small little hits, it's nothing too major. As you can see, he does absolutely no damage. The strongest monster we're actually going to be fighting today is going to be the Ketchawacha. Now, he is really far. And I can't reach that distance. And I think he knows it too. So, he's over there trying to avoid his inevitable death. And, you know, it's not going to work. Because all he's going to have to... Conchu, get out of the way. Get out of the way. So, he needs to come a bit lower to the ground. Because I can't reach him. As you can see, he's too high. These blades have no reach. It's the one weakness of the dual swords. They have no reach. Alright, let's finish him. There we go. And that is the stealth. It took a little longer than I wanted to, but that's alright. He just stayed in the air most of the time where I couldn't reach him. But as you can see, we have some really cool looking swords here. I just kind of want to point out how cool the swords look for this episode. And these are the swords we're gonna be using for the whole episode. So get used to seeing them. And of course the Adept style dual blades, which honestly is still one of the best dual blade styles in the game. Probably next to aerial dual blades. Adept dual blades I think are honestly better than aerial dual blades, just because you get way more invincibility frames. But of course, guys, that is going to be it for the Celtis hunt. So I am actually going to go see you guys back when we get the next hunt underway. So I will see you then. What? You're the hunter. Only perhaps I should introduce myself. I am but an inherent chef. I go where my food takes me. You're puzzled about my present predicament. Well, I'll make it simple. I'm a filthy stowaway. It's just my desire for cooking knows no bounds. The Swordatorium is my ticket to a ward of culinary. You wouldn't throw a stowaway, would you? After all, I fought tooth and claw to get on board. Okay? He grew up in the city. I guess this is... There was a cat that I'm supposed to give barrel lids to. That might be the cat right there, but I need to talk to these guys. Here, sailing the seas. They're part of the hunting fleet. Okay. Black Spear. Sing you the song of honor. Okay, I guess that was nothing. But we are back in the Swordatorium here for another hunt. I am going to quickly eat up for this next hunt. We are probably going to grab attack medium for this one just because I want it down. We're probably going to get feline riser just in case I get knocked down my butt as well, because that'll give me more invincibility frames standing up, of course. And let us get the next hunt underway. So the next monster we're going to be hunting is going to be Ketchawacha. Again, back in the Ancestral step, but he is the toughest monster that we are going to be fighting all day. So without further ado, we're just going to get right into the hunt here. And hopefully, and I say hopefully, because it doesn't mean I'm guaranteed anything. Hopefully, we take down Ketchawacha really quickly. Now, I started in the secret area. Nice! So, for those of you who don't know, in high rank, there are secret areas that you can spawn in that you can't normally reach in normal gameplay. When you come up in these areas, there's usually a mining spot, a gathering point, and a bone point. Now, the bone point can give you a lot of good stuff. It can give you dragon bone relics, which is actually really important, but it can also give you charms and rush shards. Rush shards specifically more off the mining point than this point, but as you can see, it's a nice spot to just gather charms. Now, I'm actually on the completely back side of the Ancestral Step, which is not really where I want it to be. But that's okay, because luckily, we can get through and where we need to get to really fast. Because it's not too far of a run. Now, if my instincts serve me correctly, Ketchawacha will still spawn in the same area Celtis spawned in. Which is going to be Area 4. Or is it 4? It might be Area 4. Area 4, I think, or 7. He should be right on the ground. Yep, there he is, right there. So, and he's going to fly away. Or leap away. And I did not see which direction the shadow went, which That's a little frustrating. But as you can see, that was the Kechawacha. He's kind of a mix of a flying squirrel, a monkey, and an elephant. It's weird he has an elephant nose. There he is. Good, I found him. So, the Kechawacha! Kind of an interesting, he's a really interesting monster, and fights mainly with his claws and by swinging on vines. Now, the area we're currently fighting Kechawacha in, he will not fight on vines. As you can see, he inflicts Water Blight with his little elephant tusk. He, like, shoots water out at you, and obviously what Water Blight does, it lowers your stamina recovery rate. So, having minor Water Blight, not too bad. Major Water Blight is a problem, but Kechawacha uses those main claws and his flying squirrel wings along with using vines to attack. He does have a roar only when he gets angry, which you can define when the Kechawacha is angry by him putting his little ears on his face as a mask, making him look all threatening, even though Kechawacha isn't really that threatening to begin with. He does no damage, as you can see, to me. So, breakable parts on Kechawacha will include the tail, the claws, his back. Obviously, any monster that can be mounted, you can break their back. And the little mask or his ears on his head. Now, Kechawacha can throw a bit of a temper tantrum every now and then. And you can actually use that to your advantage because while he's throwing this temper tantrum, he is completely open to attack from every side but where his claws are. Now, the claws are a bit deceiving in terms of where you can hit Kechawacha just because of his range of those claw attacks and how the hitbox is formed. But other than that, he's really not too bad of a monster to worry about, even though he is the strongest monster we are hunting today. If you just carefully analyze his pattern, you can take down Kechawacha really quickly. We're going to Spiral Slice him here. Use that new hunting art, which gives me a very cool, just a very cool dash move, essentially, that I can turn into an attack, as we did just break his ears there. My cat also set a shock field down. Now, the shock field, interestingly enough, actually does electric damage. At first, I thought it was something more akin to a shock trap, but the longer the monster stays in it, the more shock damage they take. Now, it does not paralyze the monster as far as I know. I don't think a monster stayed in long enough to really test that theory, but I just believe it does shock damage at this point. Having a good cat, I will say, is probably something very important to having higher rank hunts as well, because you can actually, obviously, as you, the fact that you can play as prowlers in this game, or nyantas, as we call them, nyanta hunters, you can actually really build a cat super powerfully, and it kind of will just destroy any other cat normally that you can hire in-game. Now, I am going to be deflecting off of Kechawacha a little bit, just because I need to sharpen my blades here. Hopefully he does not run over me. He's rude. Oh, he's so rude! No more. Let me sharpen. Boy! Okay. He doesn't want me sharpening my weapons. And you know what? It's very clear he doesn't want me sharpening my weapons. So you know what? We're going to kill him with some dull weapons. No. What do you think? Okay, yeah, see, now you're going to let me sharpen, because now you're going to run away. No, that's not what I wanted. That's fine. I'll eat the steak. It's not what I wanted, but I'll eat the steak. There we go. I didn't want to eat the steak. We might actually be able to get another Spiral Slice in this hunt, though, I just realized, which is awesome. I love Spiral Slice. I cannot wait to max Spiral Slice's upgrade up all the way. It's super nice. And as you can see, I'm using the Adept Dodge. Let's go for it! Oh, he moved. He moved backwards. That's okay, though. I'm just going to do this. Hopefully he swings at me. No, he didn't. Okay, interestingly enough. We're going to try and finish him here, though, before he goes into the final area, because I would not like him going into the final area where he sleeps, just because he has vines, and that's when he starts using some ridiculous attacks where he just kind of crawls up and down the vines, and he's really hard to hit at that point. So, and obviously because these weapons have such a little reach, it's not good if he goes up on the vines, but that's Kechawacha done. So that is 2 of the 3 monsters we have defeated today. And the last monster we are going to go hunt is going to be the Gaiadrome. And you may notice that I'm not actually going to go carve catch a watch of this, because I don't need his parts. So, I will see you guys back at the Sanatorium, and we will get the Gaiadrome hunt underway. Alright, Barrel Cat wants to talk to us again. Something particularly strange is going on. You see, I recently lost a piece of paper with one of my recipes on it. A little while after that, a note appeared on top of my barrel, and there was a rock left on top of that. It seems preposterous, doesn't it? But the stranger still was what was written. But stranger still was what was written on the note. It detailed the locations of all the ingredients that I've been looking for, plus information on nearby monsters. Almost as if someone is trying to advise me, but no. If anything, this is a catastrophic case of carelessness. Well, let their negligence be a lesson to them, because now I'm going to purloin the note for myself. My crimes are already so wicked. One more feline won't matter much. Oh, dear Lord. Now I've got a great favor to ask of you, Hunter. If you would please go to the Jurassic Frontier and hunt a Tetsukabra. During that time, I'll head to the location given in the note and collect the ingredients I need. If all goes well, we'll be able to get through this without a meow. Okay. So I just got a bit of a side quest there. I will definitely be doing that off camera, of course. But, as of right now, let us prep for the Gaiadrome hunt. And we're going to skip that. And let's head right up. And let's hunt ourselves a Gaiadrome. Investment flanking. That is a Gaiadrome. He is ugly. He looks disgusting. And it's another drome. So it's another raptor. You know how much we like raptors in this game. There's too many of them. There's too many of them. Honestly, there's the Velocidrome. Technically, there's the Great Macau and Great Jaggy. They're part of essentially the same. No, I wouldn't say albeit family, but they're part of the same like line of monster types. Easy, weak, and super like annoying. So you know, in this game, we've got Iodrome. Gaiadrome was brought back for this game. Velocidrome. Gendrome. There's too many. There's too many dang dromes in this game, and obviously, I don't want to deal with that. But we are here in the Arctic Ridge for our final hunt of the episode here. So we obviously, as you guys know, we need to pop those hot drinks to stay warm in here. Or, alternatively, you can pop a Mega Dash Juice. I would pop a Mega Dash Juice if I was aerial dual blade style, but I am not. I am adept dual blades, because adept dual blades I still think is better. Just because you get, like I said, the invincibility frames are really strong. Now, unlike many of the other dromes, the Gaiadrome itself actually has an elemental infliction. Not an abnormal elemental infliction like the Iodrome or the Gendrome. This one has a normal elemental infliction. The Gaiadrome has the ability to inflict you with Ice Blight. And there he is right there. As you can see, he is, he's pretty scary looking, but he looks a lot like the Velocidrome. And he should go down probably just as fast as the Velocidrome. Even though, you know, he is technically high rank. Like all dromes, their only breakable part is going to be their head. And not even their back. Their back isn't even breakable because how tiny of a monster they actually are. They're also quite vulnerable to flinch. Now, the Gaiadrome's attacks are very much like the Velocidromes. They will use bite attacks at you. They will spray. They will shoot Ice Blight chunks at you. As you can see right there, he kind of shoots a little bit of a snowball. That is actually the Ice Blight attack that we were referring to, that I was referring to earlier. But that's really the only extent of his attacks. He has lunges, and he has other attacks. Now, technically, all of his attacks can inflict Ice Blight. Even his claws can inflict Ice Blight. But, again, it's a drome, so you know what happens to dromes. They kind of flail around for a little bit, and then they die. Because that's how all dromes in Monster Hunter have worked for the longest time. I honestly think the Jaggy family was a bit better in that regard. They didn't flail around. They didn't flail around all the time. They actually had some purpose and actually could be a little bit of a threat early game. Now the dromes, on the other hand, these guys are ridiculous. And honestly, as you can see, he's already limping away, and it hasn't even been, like, since I found it, it hasn't even been a minute yet. And he should die in a couple hits here. Maybe, I'm gonna count 5. I'm gonna count 5 X presses, and he might die even sooner than that, so we'll find out here. 1, 2... Okay, 5 X presses that make contact. 1... Oh, okay, snowman. I like being a snowman! I like being a snowman! It's close to winter, even though I hate winter, bruh. That was rude. That was just rudely done. That was like two hits because that was a draw strike. Come on. 3. That's 4. If this last hit doesn't kill him, I'll be a little upset. It did. 5 hits. I counted 5. 5 X connections. And Gaiadrome is done. Down for the count. And I have Ice Blade on me. Today is not a good day. No. Ice Blade, I think, is probably the worst elemental status in the game. Just because it increases your stamina reduction rate while running, sprinting, etc. It's not a nice status. It's very mean. But yeah, that was it. That is all we are doing for the episode this time around. A lot of the other quests I have to do for key quests are just gathering missions. So essentially what I'm going to do for the rest of the series at this point is I'm only going to hunt monsters that we have not fought yet throughout the series. Because a lot of the high rank monsters you have to refight and you've already fought them in low rank, i.e. Tetsukabra, Rathian, Rathalos. We'll have to do all those again, but you guys have already seen the low-rank version of the fight, and the only thing that hey, I got a gem. The only thing that the high-rank version of the fight changes, really, is they just do more damage. They don't get any new attacks in high rank. They just get more damage and more health. That's really it. Apparently that was a Silver Crown Gaiadrome as well. But yeah. That is it. That is all we have time for in this episode. Like I said, there are some gathering quests I have to do, like this. Hunter, I have some unfortunate news. Operation Power Up the Sanatorium to chase down Valstrax was rejected by the Y Academy. They said it's because they don't want the Sanatorium in dangerous situations, which is understandable since there isn't much that's more dangerous than a high-speed Valstrax chase. But that's the whole reason why I really wanted to work on powering up the ship. I bet it's because of my age. They'd trust an adult with this, you know. But I can't let this get me down. I have to prove myself as Y-Venturer if I want them to take me seriously. Hunter, we have received a quest from the Burna Chief. It seems that the researcher was attacked by a Baroth while returning to Burna from doing field work. That researcher is someone I really look up to, an old friend of the Burna Chief. What I'm saying is this one's personal, so please pick up the quest at the quest counter and save our friend. Well, I think we have our mission for the next episode. We are going to be hunting the Baroth, ladies and gentlemen. A monster that we have not seen yet in this series. You probably have seen it on streams, but it is a monster that has been specific for high rank in this game. So that is actually what we are going to be doing in the next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed episode 42 of Monster Hunter Double Cross. And of course, until then, this is CAJ Man 777 signing off. Stay safe, everybody.